Looking at a daily chart of the Nasdaq. Welcome to my daily review. Two aspects to being successful in the stock market is one is knowing the direction of the index. What is the direction of the market from January 1 to June 1 or May 31? I would say it's up. It's making higher lows, and higher highs. Okay, so that's the definition of an uptrend. Yeah, it's still in a trade range. It hasn't gotten above, the 13,181 or whatever it is, and but it has made this bottom here. So this is an uptrend for all intents and purposes, for what we're trading, swing trading. The market's in an uptrend, so now your job is to select proper stocks, and sometimes knowing the stocks to avoid is just as important as knowing the stocks to own. I'm going to just go through some of the stronger stocks here that we have on our leading stock list at MC Stock Charts. This is NVDA, obviously one of the top stocks of 2023, and they blasted higher after earnings, and it's been one of the most talked about stocks. And if you don't own this stock up here, you can't be buying it up here, because if it pulls back like it did today, like 6%, you're going to get shaken out on a normal pullback. That thing should pull back to its 10 EMA. It's still 8.4% above. I doubt it, and it's going up every day. You can see how steep that moving average is. So I don't know how many days this is going to sell off. It might be done selling off. It might go up tomorrow. Who knows? But you're taking a great risk in buying a stock that extended from its moving average. That's all I'm saying. AMD is another one that's really strong. Broke out of this. I had a buy point here at 88, but there was a standard buy point there at 102, and it ramped higher. I mean, you were up 30% in no time. And if you're buying the stock up here, you're asking for trouble, and you're just going to get shaken out on a normal garden variety pullback. So it made a new high yesterday and then closed lower and then followed through to the downside today. But, it's doing nothing wrong. If you look at the grand scheme of things, it's just in an uptrend, from these October lows and trading higher. So you get this consolidation here and just ramped higher on the NVIDIA earnings report. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is buying properly solves a lot of your problems. I'm going to get to that a little later, but a couple more of these semiconductor stocks, they need to take a breather. They need a break. You can see the nice consolidation in the breakout, now a pullback. I don't know if it's going to pull back to a moving average, it's going to form a base, or if it's just going to, turn around and ramp higher. But I do know that buying extended is going to get you into trouble most times. MRVL, another one, had earnings and just ramped higher. I guess this is Friday, earnings Thursday. That's a nice consolidation. Ramp higher, now it pulls back. I mean, this thing could pull back to its, base. Who knows? It could also just, turn around and rip higher tomorrow, or just pull back to its, this green line here is its 10 EMA, which is moving higher. Broadcom, AVGO. This one, once again, we had on our watch list about 6:30. This one really ramped higher. Yesterday had a move from 921 to 798, so 120 point move. Today it stabilized right around 800, so maybe it's just going to hang out around there and form a base, or wait for the moving averages to catch up. But what I'm saying is don't chase these things. That'll get you into trouble. Wait till there's setup here. And this is AI. It was just set up on the base. It ramped higher. Had an inside day today and is getting a little haircut after hours here, 17% lower. I believe they beat on earnings and revenues just slightly, but it's way ahead of itself. And that's the problem. So we saw a rotation out of semiconductor stocks today. Where did they go? Well, they went to some of the biotech stocks. This is Viking. This one had an upgrade today with a price target of 32, and it had a 6% day. So it did well. TGTX. They're going to be I don't know, presenting some phase 3 data tomorrow in New York. So I expect the CEO to be popping off there, because that's what he does. But anyway, I would expect this one, if you just look at this stock, it broke out of this base here, ran higher, formed this little base here, consolidation. What it do? Ran higher. Now it's probably going to form another similar little consolidation like it did here and like it did here. And that's its pattern. So, yeah, it went up, a lot, and it retraced 50% of the move. It went from 19 to 35, 16 points, and then traced back 8 down to 26, 27. So it's doing what it normally does, and it's just gone up a lot. It's up 120% this year alone. So AXSM, I don't even know why I put this stock down here. Oh yeah, because it traded down to its 50 and found support, a nice 6% bounce for this biotech stock. Novo Nordisk, this one's just in a trading range here, consolidating. It did this for a long time. We got to look at the weekly on these big market cap stocks. Big consolidation, and then the big move. Now more consolidation. They don't have earnings till August 10th, so maybe to just trade sideways here and consolidate for a few months. But I'm pretty sure their earnings and revenues are going to be pretty strong once again. Lilly is a little bit stronger than Novo Nordisk right now. How do I know? Because this one's trading above its 10 EMA, and Novo is below its 50. So it's okay. I mean, let it consolidate. If you're interested in that one, there will be plenty of time for it. So we did see some rotation yesterday into some retail stocks like ELF, but today this thing just pulled back. It needs to keep push away from this 100 level, and this 100 psychological barrier tends to be kind of a magnet for stock. So I'd like to see it break away from that psychological barrier. This is Deckers, maker of Hoka athletic shoes and UGG casual shoes. And this one had earnings last week, traded below its 50, rallied above it. Now it's getting support there at the 50 moving average. So good for the longs there. That is a good long-term hold. Deckers. This is Dick's Sporting Goods, which traded down to its 200 and found support. Now it's been up the last few days, had good volume today, but pretty much flat on the session now. But good volume there. Maybe it's decided to stop going down. And Lulu is the last one I want to show in retail. Lulu's getting beat up, and it's down to the 200 as well. So I'm looking for the retail stocks to kind of bottom. They're going to bottom while the news is terrible, while you hear the recession and retail is terrible, and then they'll bottom, and then everybody will hate them, and then they'll turn around and form a base and be actionable once again. Anyway, I mentioned rotation, and it went into the software names today, and I had a lot of these on our ready list. Some of you were contacting me on Twitter, and you're trading them, and I just wanted to go through. This is Monday. This is one that I was looking at for a day trade, and I just wanted to show how I normally day trade. I didn't trade this one. I picked another one that wasn't quite as good, but anyway, I just wanted to show you my style of here. About 15 minutes into the session, it makes a high at 173.18 and then pulls back, profit taking, calms down for about 45 minutes. And so what I'm interested in, because I expect a little bit of buying at the open, and then profit taking is normal, but I want to know if there's going to be aggressive buying above that 173.18. And if I was trading this, I would put a limit order in at 173.20 or 173.25, just a little bit above. And it happened about 2 hours into the session. This bar here, 173.43, so that would have triggered it. And then it just ramped higher. So you ask, well, what would get you out of there? Well, if it traded below the 171.29, below the low of that bar, if it starts making lower lows, then I'm out. And I take a loss, big deal. But you got to get your bat off the shoulder and take a swing when you're a day trader. And this one, fortunately, if you traded this one, ramped higher from 173 all the way up to like 180. Yeah. So that's a heck of a trade. That's a $7 trade. I would have been out of it here because I'm afraid of taking any losses or losing my profits. But I do know some people who traded this one today and it went higher. So Congrats, good for you. And there was another one. This is one that I did act on, is DigitalOcean. I was watching this, and this was another one that was on our ready list. About, I don't know, half hour into the session, 37.52, 37.55. So if I asked you a question, where would you put your limit order? 37.55, right? And it hit it right there at this bar. Pull back a little bit, but it didn't make a low below that low of 37.33, and then traded higher. I was out of it before this move, even because for me, I'm only taking a small percentage. I'm a big chicken. I don't want to take a loss. So I just take a small percentage on those things. But anyway, that's the way I like to day trade. There were some other stocks on our watch list that I was watching, but this was not really actionable. It went up to 35.53 the first half hour, never really got above until late in the session. It's too late for me. I lost interest by then. I'm probably golfing or something. And HashiCorp is another one. Blasted higher at the open the first 15 minutes, 34.60, and was never actionable because it never got above that trigger of 34.60. And it still had a decent day, but it just ramped so high at the open that wasn't interesting. And I really like the daily chart on HashiCorp and the weekly. This is definitely a like a waterfall type of action, and then a stage one base. So they have earnings on June 7th, and we'll see what they do and what they say. And anyway, that's it for today. It was pretty tough tape. If you're in some of those select stocks, and you did pretty well. If not, then you probably had a pretty tough day. It was hard to beat that tape today. Most stocks were down. Anyway, tomorrow's a new day, and we never give up.